Let's also talk about the Ninja bomb, the weapon used R9X, the Hellfire missile. Mr. Lyon, if you could throw more light on that.
Well, the Colonel will probably be better at the weapons than I would, but the U.S. has used it about a dozen times over the last few years, and it is specifically
the tank which are untouched. I mean, it is a very specific, targeted device which can, as it did on this occasion, just kill one individual. And we've seen the United States not wanting to cause civilian casualties. You'll remember that attack in retaliation to the attack on Marines at the airport who were evacuating people in August last year. America responded and they hit a car that had nothing to do with the attack itself, killing a family. And that was the last attack carried out in Afghanistan until this one last weekend. So I think President Biden didn't want to see a repeat of that kind of attack. He wanted something very accurate. He's a cautious man. He was very cautious in the room back in 2011 when he was the vice president and Osama bin Laden was killed. He was the most cautious voice then. And to get his sign off on this, I think the CIA will have needed to have really good evidence that this was Ayman Al-Zawahiri. But I think the bigger picture is that this shows the real hollowness at the heart of America's deal with the Taliban when they abandoned the country and pulled out last year. That deal signed by President Trump and then agreed to by President Biden and his administration effectively handed over Afghanistan to the Taliban, giving very little in return except a vague assurance that they wouldn't allow terrorist groups to carry out attacks from Afghanistan. But as we've seen, Al-Qaeda, who do want to carry out attacks from Afghanistan, operate openly and freely. That UN report that's already been mentioned talked about their capacity to increase their propaganda in recent months to the point that they're recruiting more people than Islamic State. And I think Ayman Al-Zawahiri's death will only encourage that organization to work harder for what it wants to do.
You know, I'd like to wrap up the debate quoting you again when you said hollowness of the deal between US and Taliban has been exposed. That's a very important point that you've brought to the fore. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us.